What's up, YouTube? PokePrimer here, finally ready to deliver you our first team builder here in the WCBL. We picked up this team. It is actually 2 and 3, I believe, which is super unfortunate. But we are going to start bringing that back this week. We are starting to start bringing that back this week for the W. We are taking on Jeff and the Lycanester FC, and his team consists of Volcanion, Z, Salamence, Mienshao, Gligar, Ditto, Leavanny, Diancie, Mamoswine, Rotomosh, Necrozma, and Klinklang. So a couple of things to note. Klinklang, very interesting Pokemon. Don't really see that thing too often, but it's very interesting to see that Mon here. It's going to be interesting to see what he does with it if he brings it. Ditto, scary as hell. Got to avoid setting up at all costs. Cannot justify setting up against this team because of Ditto. Z-Ments, always terrifying. Always a really scary Pokemon to deal with. It gets one Dragon Dance up or one Z move off, and Moxie sweeps left and right. So it's going to be something that I have to really be careful about. Diancie. The scariest thing I think about his team is he has sticky webs plus super massively destructive offensive threats like Volcanion, Diancie, Mienshao, Salamence, Mamoswine, Necrozma. These kind of mons under Sticky Web are absolutely terrifying. So I'm going to have to be really careful about how I play around the webs with Leavanny. That's going to be something that I really have to keep an eye on and hopefully prevent, if not prevent, keep those webs off the field and whittle my way through his team that way and try to keep things safe for me, because Jesus Christ, this is going to be fucking horrible if I don't. It's going to be so bad. It's going to be such a bad situation if I can't keep webs off the field. It's not going to be fun. But I think I've built a proper team to take him on. I think my team is more than adequate enough to beat him. So the way this is going to go, this league, I'm going to lump the team builders in with the battles. I'm going to do the replays post-com. I do plan on doing actual live com battles for some leagues, but this is not one of them. Since I'm just taking over a team for this one, I don't want to overhype this one up all that much, if that makes any sense. But here's the team here begins. I like to start every week off, try to get my Z captain in there. But I'm not bringing him as a Z-Mon this week. I'm bringing Kakashi, the Greninja, Choice Specs with Water Shuriken, Dark Pulse, Hydro Pump, and Ice Beam. I'm running both Water Shuriken and Hydro Pump because I want Water Shuriken for the priority. Late game, I could see situations where, if his team's kind of whittled down and I don't want to risk misses, against things like Mamoswine, where I don't want to get Ice Sharded. If I'm down super low, I can click Water Shuriken, take it out. I can click Water Shuriken and take out the Diancie. I can take Water Shuriken. I can Water Shuriken the Gligar, things like that. I can really put in some pressure with that late game. But like early game, if I'm in scenarios, especially if he doesn't have Volcanion. If he doesn't have Volcanion, this game becomes so much easier because I can just click Hydro Pump whenever this thing's on the field and get some serious damage chunked off on my opponent, which is huge. So if I can hit, that's my biggest worry about Hydro Pump, is it hitting, but I kind of have to, because if I go like Scald or something else, or even Surf, I just don't net necessary KOs against some of his mons. I don't net necessary 2 KOs against some of his mons without Hydro Pump. So I do need, unfortunately, to go with that set. Dark Pulse is also a really good neutral click against his team. When things like Rotomosh and Volcanion want to try to switch in to Hydro Pumps and such, they don't appreciate Dark Pulses. Choice Specs stab Dark Pulses from Greninja hurt a lot. Like, a shit ton of pain. So they definitely are going to have to be careful about that. I'm going to have to be smart about when I click it. I also do have the Ice Beam, specifically for the Salamence, kind of for the Gligar. Like, if I can hit the Gligar with it, it'd be great. But it's mainly for the Salamence, so that at least even with Yachi, Specs Ice Beam is still going to really hurt, if not potentially OHKO the Mence, especially if it's a more offensive build. I'm seeing it as more of an offensive Z-move build to go up against me. I could see that. So hopefully that can work out for us. But yeah, Kakashi has a lot of potential to do some work this week. Really excited, and I can't wait to use it. Next up, we have Snip Snip the Scizor. Snip Snip here is nice and bulky this week, holding the leftovers. Max HP, 144 in defense with an Impish Nature, and 112 in Speed F. Actually, did not talk about Kakashi's EV spread. Max special attack, leftovers went 2 HP, and I threw enough speed in here so that he could outspeed base 110s, being Mega Diancie, so that I can Hydro Pump the dick out of that. But after listening, it's just nice and overall bulky. I know there was something that I avoided a 2 KO on by the spread. But it has a lot of potential this week. Bullet Punch, I had to bring it because of Mega Diancie. So Bullet Punch is obviously there for that, because Bullet Punch will just straight OHKO Mega Diancie. It's 4 times weak, plus Technician boosted on Scizor. Even without attack investment, just blows it away, which is great. Aerial Ace I brought because of the Mienshao. I know Mienshao is going to do a shit ton of damage to me, and I want to be able to do a shit ton of damage back to it. And Aerial Ace does a lot. Aerial Ace plus Bullet Punch I think actually kills. Off the top of my head, I don't remember. But it does a lot of damage, because you know, Technician boosted and all that shit. Roost to keep myself healthy, because I want Scizor to be healthy throughout the match. And then U-turn, obviously, for momentum. If I can force switches and such, I will do so. And Scizor can definitely do a very good job at that. Scizor is a great Pokemon for forcing switches. So, yeah, I'm going to do that with my Scizor friend. So yeah, Snip's here. We have Shizzy, the Suicune, max HP, max defense, 4 in Spadef with a Calm Nature. Calm Nature is there because a lot of the things that might threaten or hit this thing hard are in fact special attackers. Things like Diancie, Rotom Wash, Mence could hit it hard maybe. So I wanted to put a little more emphasis in Spadef, but I still need the physical defense for taking hits from Mienshao, taking hits from Mence, taking hits from Gligar, Diancie's Diamond Storm, Mamoswine, stuff like that. While I also have my Calm Mind here, Calm Mind, Scald, Ice Beam, and Rest. Rest just to get rid of any toxic stalling they might try to do. Toxic stalling could be a thing. Calm Mind setup is really nice against this team. I can really punish it. Scald hits everything pretty much neutrally for the most part. I bring Ice Beam. If I had another move slot, I would use it, but I bring Ice Beam just because it's a way of hitting the Volcanion. Like, even though it's like 4 times resistance, it's still something to chip at it. Like, Volcanion can't really do much to me, especially if I get up a few Calm Minds. Volcanion can't do anything to me, so it's a matter of time before one of us would eventually go down. The Ice Beam also helps with Leaf Annie, which is cool. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm happy to use Shizzy this week. Hopefully Shizzy can put in some work. We have Choice Scarf Nidoking here. Scarf Sureforce Nidoking just puts in a lot of work on his team. We have enough speed to outpace the Rotom, I believe? No, because Rotom naturally outspeeds us. We are outpacing the Mamoswine, I think. I think it's the Mamoswine. Probably the Mamoswine. Yeah, I think because Mamoswine taps out at 284. So yeah, that makes sense. That it would be Mamoswine. But we have Earth Power, Ice Beam, Sludge Wave, and Shadow Ball for our moveset. Earth Power is our way of nuking things like Volcanion, nuking Diancie, nuking Kling Klang, shit like that. Hit those all really hard. Ice Beam is for the Ments. That's why we are Scarf, so we can Scarf into Ice Beam and knock out Ments, knock out Gligar, knock out Leavanny. We have Sludge Wave. Sludge Wave just for neutral or stab coverage to hit his team. Things don't want to switch into it. So it definitely will hit hard with the Sludge Waves. It's just something to hit switch-ins neutrally. It's nice clean thing to click. And then we have the Shadow Ball because of Necrozma. I reached a point where I just kind of like, I ran out of coverage moves to just tech on there. So I was just like, you know what, screw it. We're going to go with Shadow Ball because why not? Could come in clutch a late game. Who knows? But yeah, there's another king. Dope ass Pokemon. And has potential to do some good shit in this match. Next up we have Metalburb. I went fully Spadef on Metalburb because they have Mega Diancie. I don't really need to Fizz Def outside of Diamond Storm, the only physical move that I see Diancie bringing. And I can take those all day, every day, pretty much. So I'm not too worried about that. Being fully Spadef allows me to wall Mega Diancie pretty easily. We have Iron Head on this set because I didn't feel Brave Bird was necessary for taking on Leavanny. I didn't see Leavanny as being actually a threat. And Iron Head will do the job quite nicely because Iron Head actually does OHKO the Mega Diancie, which is fantastic. This thing, this thing just meant to be a bulky threat. Just gonna OHKO Mega Diancie if I get the chance to, which is awesome. Defog is there just so we can keep hazards off our side of the field. This is going to be our way of preventing webs. This is going to be our way of preventing rocks, shit like that. We do also have Stealth Rocks on this thing because Stealth Rocks would be nice. You know, I feel like I could potentially use this thing to force out the Mega Diancie if it's not packing HP Fire, depending on what kind of set he wants to run. I can maybe force out the Mega Diancie and yeah, really could be really dope set of rocks. And Roost to keep ourselves healthy because, yeah, I like being healthy. So this thing is really great. I'm sorry, I had a text message I had to check. But yeah, Metal Burb's gonna put in a lot of work in this game. I feel it puts a lot of pressure on a lot of mons and allows me to get up rocks probably pretty easily, which is good. I'm probably one of the best rock setters to have going up against a Mega Diancie team. You know, any steel type rock setter is really good to have against a Diancie team like this. So hopefully it works out in our favor. The next mon we are going to have is our Adamant. Yes, I said Adamant. Expert belt wielding Pangoro. Whoa. Pangoro is dope. Pangoro's dope. Jack Black Pangoro. Max attack Adamant. A little bit of HP investment because that was what was left over. And 228 speed. That 228 speed allows us to outpace a non-speed invested Rotom Wash, because we really don't have a designated thing to kill it. But this thing can probably do it pretty okay. Hopefully we don't get burned by it. Rotom Wash is a difficult thing for our team. I wanted to bring Amoonguss, but between Z-Ments, Volcanion, Mamoswine, Necrozma, I just couldn't justify bringing Amoonguss along, just because there's so many things on his team that scream, I'm going to kill your Amoonguss. And so many things that could capitalize or set up on Amoonguss's presence. It just seemed like a safer bet to not bring it. You know what I mean? Like it was a mon that I could have brought potentially, but it was better that I didn't. So at least having this thing here, I could potentially do a lot of work against his team. Knock off Drain Punch, Bullet Punch, and Ice Punch with Iron Fist. So 3 out of my 4 moves are in fact boosted. Drain Punch, just for stab, allows me to hit things really hard. Ditto can't really come in on me because I can just Drain Punch it and kill it. Drain Punch is just neutral coverage for his team. The only thing that it doesn't hit, the only things it doesn't hit hard are Ments, Gligar, and Necrozma. Necrozma doesn't appreciate an Adamant Expert Belt knockoff, so that's where we have that coming in. And then we have the Bullet Punch for the Mega Diancie to take care of that. Expert Belt, Adamant, Bullet Punch just kind of blows Mega Diancie out of the water. And then we have Ice Punch to handle things like Gligar and Salamence. If they want to try to switch in on us, we can Ice Punch them and make them dead, which is great. So that is going to be the team, and without further ado, let us get into the battle. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with our battle against Jeff and the Lycanester FC. He decided to bring the Salamence, the Rotom Wash, the Mega Diancie, Klinklang, Mamoswine, and the Lycanester. So this is going to be a very interesting match. Has a lot of potential for us to do well here. He did not bring the Mienshao, which was something that kind of scared me a little bit, because he did trade it right before this week technically officially started. So it was really I had already built the team before that, so I was kind of worried about that. So that's a thing. It's the thing that happened. So we're gonna see how this match goes. The Rotom being there is terrifying. The Lycanester being there is terrifying. We have to be really careful about that. But when it comes to this matchup, when it comes to the situation in front of me, I see my best case scenario as leading with Pangoro. Just kind of overall matches up well against everything on his team. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So Jack Black comes out first. So he's going to lead with his Lycanester. He clearly wants to get his webs up early. He's going to fire off those webs. I'm going to Ice Punch turn 1 and just drop it down to minimalistic HP. He's going to switch out now into the Rotom, and I'm going to go for the Bullet Punch. It does negligible damage, and I see that he's leftovers. I go for the knockoff here. Based upon that damage right there, based upon the damage, I do see that he is actually a Spadef Rotom, which is very interesting. Very kind of smart on his part, I guess, with things like Greninja and Suicune running around. It kind of needed to be Spadef Rotom, so it makes sense. So I get the knockoff off there and put him down really, really low, take him a little over half. He actually misses the Will-O-Wisp. Now that is so key to this game. You're going to see that missed Willow cost him the entire match. Truthfully and honestly, that missed Willow cost him the game. Period. Him missing that Will-O-Wisp was beyond all forms of crucial. As you'll see throughout the game, as Jack Black is going to be able to now go for a Drain Punch and finish off the Rotom. Into the Mega Diancie he goes. I didn't want to risk it at this point. I didn't want to risk some type of weird physically defensive Mega Diancie set or whatever. So I do just switch safely into my Skarmory. I do kind of want to get rid of these webs. And conveniently, awesomeness of this, I go for the Defog, immediately trying to get rid of the webs. And the Diancie sets up Stealth Rock. So right away we see that it has Protect and Stealth Rock. So it seems like much less of a threat to me than it possibly could have been. So I'm starting to think that he also doesn't have the hidden power. So I go for the Defog, get the rocks and webs away, and then just go for the Iron Head as it goes for Protect the Scout. I'm just going to set up my rocks here because I know he's not staying in. He's got to preserve this thing. So I get my rocks up. He's going to bring in his Leavanny, set up webs again, and then die to an Iron Head from my Skarm. Which, having the webs up, honestly, isn't the worst thing in the world. I can work with that. Alright, so he brings in the Mamoswine here, and he goes for an Ice Cold Crash. And based upon that damage, I immediately know that he's banded Mamoswine. So I know how to play around this thing now. I see what I gotta do. Playing around this thing is not going to be that difficult, in all honesty. Unfortunately, however, I would have been able to get like about 50% off with an Iron Head there, but unfortunately I did end up flinching. Getting the 50% or so off with the Iron Head would have put him in Bullet Punch range, so would have prevented some later game risks, but nonetheless, we had to do what we gotta do. But yeah, the flinch kind of sucks, but not too big of a deal, I guess. So I'm just going to go on my Scizor since I know he's banded. I'm going to eat that up. Only does about 25%. Very bulky. So I know he's going to swap here. So I'm just going to go for the U-turn as he goes into Klinklang. I'm going to get a little bit of chip on the Klinklang. We're going to switch out here and go into Jack Black. Yeah, our speed is going to drop, but that's fine. I'm just going to click Knockoff because I figured Knockoff was my best play. I thought about going for Drain Punch, but I knew that Mence probably could come in, so I figured Knockoff was a better play. Just in case it wasn't holding a Z-Crystal, it would do enough damage, put him in range for other things. You know, it could be a very good play overall. And there's really no drawback. You know, if I knock off the Klinklang, I knock off the Klinklang. If I knock off something else, I knock off something else. Either way, I'm getting the job done. So that is that turn. So I do knock off a Life Orb, and then I'm able to put it in range for a Bullet Punch to KO. Now he goes back out into the Diancie, and for whatever reason he does this, he goes out into Diancie, and I am able to KO that with a Bullet Punch as well. So there's 3 kills for this thing so far. 3 kills. Goes for the Icicle Crash. I barely live. I did calc this. I did guaranteed live it at least, but I barely lived it. It's crazy. Drain Punch, I'm able to get back up to over half HP. Then Gear Grind from this Klinklang takes me out. So Jack Black put in a monstrous amount of work in this game. I'm just going to go on to Nidoking here, though. We're going to finish this off. I am Scarfed, so even after these Sticky Web drops, I am going to be faster than this Klinklang. I'm just going to click Earth Power, and I'm going to pick up the kill and the 5-0W over Jeff in the Lycanester FC. Really fantastic start for this team. I'm really, really happy that I have such a solid team. There's 2 more battles I had to get caught up on, so I'm going to be working on getting those scheduled ASAP. So hopefully you will be able to see those very soon. But until then, that is a 5-0 victory for us. Whoop-de-woo. And yeah, congratulations us. But with that, guys, if you guys are enjoying, make sure to like down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm PokePrimer, and I'm signing off. Peace.